All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports. This is your regular Tuesday night show. We got several things to talk about, from some bowl games and things that's going on to comments that we heard from the head football coach at Seattle, making some offhand comments, not directly at Grubb, but you could probably take it that way or however which way you may have wanted to take it. And athletic director at Notre Dame, we can play a clip over here and kind of get our beef with what he had to say. And I just, like to get your opinion on it too and see what y'all think. So let's start off with that one first. How about we do that? Let's see here. Let's see. All right, let's go right here and share the page. We're going to talk about the AD at Notre Dame and kind of, what is his problem?
We were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
Okay, what the heck ever, bro. So what does he mean by that? I mean, he's talking about there's permanent damage, been dealt with by Notre Dame. And if you don't know the whole story, what they're talking about, I'll give you about a 3-second rundown of it. On the ACC network, Miami and Notre Dame game played continuously through the network. Notre Dame feels like that by them playing that game, that it give a unskewed subconscious bias towards maybe the committee, picking to have Miami to finally jump them in the final week of the poll. What did Notre Dame? They just think that they're above all. They have the best brand of football and everything that they do. Like nothing can ever affect them. Nothing can ever affect them at all. No matter what they do, it's always going to be perfect, always going to be great. And they're such a, enormous brand because they have all the money. And that's just not true. So, but ACC Network playing the game through the weekend has somehow hurt the feelings of the AD here at Notre Dame. His comments are just – it's just silly. Number one, if you don't know, then, well, that's why you stop by here. Like the video while you're on here, hit the thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Notre Dame does not belong to any conference in football. They do share in a lot of other sports with the ACC, and I think they play about 5 games. It's what they schedule for their football. And ACC is just the worst conference that there is. So they're looking out for themselves. Okay. So when the conference decides that they want to look out for themselves and their team that plays football in the ACC, I think Miami's in the ACC. I mean, don't get me wrong here. I believe they are. Then why in the world is it a problem for them to cover their own self? Because if Miami, by them getting in and winning game stuff, that will create revenue for the conference because the money's given some to the school and then the conference will get the other half. So why is Notre Dame PO'd because they got jumped by Miami the last week? Well, why did they in general, why would they have gotten jumped at all? What's going on, Jeff? Why is Notre Dame AD griping about all this stuff? Well, I'll give you a good little idea here. Okay. They're never going to join a conference, and we've, a lot of people keep saying, well, this will be the straw that broke the camel's back. And this will be the reason for them to join a conference. they're never going to join the conference. They'll just miss the playoff this time, just like a lot of Alabama fans felt slighted last year because they didn't make it. I didn't. I don't like 3-loss teams being in it. Bird said because the third loss of Bama's was in a conference title game, it's not the same as last year. Them just losing, losing to Oklahoma there late and cost them. I guess. Okay, I guess so. The AD at Notre Dame, if they go to a bowl game, guess who gets all the money? Yeah, they do. They do. They get all the money. They'll take 100% of the pay, 100% of it. So the ACC network playing the Notre Dame Miami game, reminding people that Notre Dame, I don't think you even have to watch the game. I mean, it was a good game, but any of the committee members remember the game, and you can go back on ESPN and any of these fine establishment places and see the score of the game and see that Notre Dame lost. So him complaining about that and covering himself, he's mad because they're covering their own self. That is so selfish. It is so self-righteous. It is completely out of line, and it's completely asinine. It's completely asinine. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Because in his opinion, Jeff said, he thinks that they can win the national championship. Also, that they lose money. Yeah, $20 million. So they could go play a bowl game and probably win 5 or 10, take a prize of $5 or $10 million. Yeah, that could probably work out for them. But you're offered to go play yeah, we fix to get into that, Keith. Hang on. We're talking about Notre Dame AD complaining because the ACC network decided to play the Miami Notre Dame game. He's griping about this did intangible damage to us, adding to them. It's just irreparable damage. Let's go back and check this out again. Y'all check this out.
We were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports.
But not football. 24 other sports. We're not talking about those those other sports there, Pete. This game is the playoffs, college football playoffs, not rowing, not badminton, not ping pong or soccer. Football.
Sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, just pack your bags and go hang out over there by yourself and play in your own stupid little league and be independent. And when you don't get in, and if you want to really look at something really interesting, and I have, go check out Notre Dame's schedule next year. They got nobody. They're going to play a terrible, terrible schedule. I think they're going to play like one ranked team. They think it's okay for them to protect their brand. But if Miami protects their whole conference, then it's a problem. Irreparable damage and their biggest partner. Well, how is it your biggest partner? Because you decided to join the crappiest conference around? Go join the Big Ten in football, lay your books open and show the money that you generate for your football program. That's why they'll never join a conference. It's never going to happen unless they have a stipulation made where they don't have to show their money. It's the Catholic Church. They own more property, hit Google, than any institution or anybody in the world. Not just here in this country. The Catholic Church. They have more real estate. They own more stuff than anything or anybody in the world. They're not going to open their books and show what kind of money they generate. Because if money wins titles, listen close, if money just wins titles, Notre Dame would win it every year. Look at this group of misfits that came with SIG, this James Madison group. This guys they brought in, this is just a good team that SIG has put together. They're a good, balanced football team. Pretty good offense, pretty good defense, special teams okay. They're going to win some football games. That proves a huge point. If not, then Texas would for sure be in this. It's always, lastly, we'll move to Bama, about Grubb and Ty. It's always going to be about coaching. It's always going to be about leadership. And it is about Jimmy's and Joe's. But if you don't have a steering wheel on the car, then it's never going to work out. It won't. You can have a star team of all-stars and not win. And not win the game. We see what happened to Fisher at A&M. So this guy's comments, he's insane. That don't make any sense at all. So it's caused irreparable damage to the relationship. Well, pack your stuff, bro, and let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Golly, man, who cares about you? You're not unbeatable. You lost games. Now, here's why. This is a daunting question that seems like either they're stupid and they can't figure it out, or something's going on, or I don't know. I can read the smoke across the water. Guys, the reason that Miami, we can go back and look at it. Miami stayed below Notre Dame. But, Matt, everybody on ESPN's been saying how it was going to be, and that Miami was ranked below them, and the head-to-head should have mattered all along. Miami was 13. Okay, we're going to go back to week 13, this is like right at or right before Thanksgiving weekend. Okay. Yep. Notre Dame was ranked 9. They were 9-2, 6-1 at home. Matt, they won on a 10-win skid streak of just winning 10 straight games. That's ought to be worth something. But they didn't play a ranked team. They beat USC as their only win. And where was Miami was ranked 13. The reason that when this week before, Miami's 13, Notre Dame's 9. The reason that Miami stayed where they were below Notre Dame after the head-to-head was because of the teams that had to play in between these weeks. Miami still had to play Pitt, okay? And if you look at their schedule, we'll go this week before they played Pitt. They had Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, and Syracuse. Okay, those are conference games. Those games were still out there. And because Miami had just lost that week before, like week 10 or 12, 10 or 11, they had just lost to SMU. Yes, Miami lost to Louisville and SMU, and people were just so happy that they made it in. 2 unranked teams. So Miami stayed lower because of this loss during that week. But, Matt, when the bracket come out, Miami stayed lower. And as the weeks went on, then Miami beat Syracuse by 4 touchdowns. They beat North Carolina State by 6 touchdowns. They beat Virginia Tech by 4 touchdowns. And then they played Pitt last, and they beat them by 5 touchdowns. See what I'm saying? Now, none of those teams are ranked, and they think Pitt was a good win for them, and that's fine. But when you get over into the later weeks and it gets closer to the selection of, like, back last week or so, that's the reason. Week 15 was the last time here because guess what? Notre Dame and Miami didn't play. So now this is going to give an opportunity for teams that were ranked right around Miami. BYU was 11. That's the team. Once BYU lost, and Miami with where Miami was, this give an opportunity, people. I'm trying to explain this. People just don't like it. Just goes right over there. Why in Miami? They give the impression the committee did the whole time they had that selection show that Notre Dame was going to be in. They tricked them. Man, it's just nothing but pure sabotage against Notre Dame. No, it's not. From that week 11 and 12, I just showed you where they were both ranked. And because Miami had come off that bad loss to SMU, that kept them down. And Notre Dame had been winning a couple of games. Then Miami goes on a run and wins 5 straight games by a lot. An average of about 5 touchdowns. And then when it come that week and BYU fell out, that moved the team out of the way between them of the 3. One come out. So when you put them side by side, the head-to-head then had to count. If we were going to bump up here this last week, because them two didn't play a game. So that was the comparison. That's why Miami jumped them, because of that week, the head-to-head started mattering because BYU lost. And it created a vacuum with Miami and Notre Dame only. It ain't got nothing to do with Alabama. Notre Dame has nothing to do with them. They're ranked ahead of them all the time, except for that first week. But that last week, when they moved them to 9, they knew it was given an opportunity so that BYU and Texas Tech, because Bama was going to play for their conference championship game, which is fair, because the other two below them, the Miami and Notre Dame, was not playing for a conference championship game. So Bama got like a nod for saying, thanks for doing good enough in your conference, actually being number 1 in the SEC going into the SEC title game. You could go look it up. The SEC standings, Bama was 1. So they put them at 9 because of the nod of having to play another game. Win or lose, it was going to be a good situation because of their totality and having the overall strength of schedule of 6, not Notre Dame's 45 or Miami's 42. They didn't play games. So when BYU come out again, it created a vacuum. It put Miami and Notre Dame side by side. BYU's out of the way. It put them together. And then they had to compare. Okay, now they're finally together. Well, head-to-head matters more. Miami, I don't know if Miami can beat A&M, and we'll start looking at those games and stuff as maybe Thursday. Maybe we'll get into that. But that's just where we're at because of how the games were played. I'm going to tell Notre Dame, and you whining AD, and I can't believe they got on TV and said that. This is irreversible damage that you've caused your most reliable partner in the ACC because we make y'all so much money. You don't. What are you talking about? The big check comes from football. You don't share the football check with the ACC, fool. There's people watching that. They may be people that watch that and don't know. They're like, yeah, by God, he's right. They should have got them in there, and Notre Dame, they'd got that $20 million. They'd got to share it with ACC. Should have pumped up their football team. They don't share it. They don't share football. So that's why I'm so confused why he's up here griping during football playoffs. If it had been during basketball and they get some, big check, and you felt like, well, ACC Network run a basketball game of Miami beating them bad, and it's going to knock Notre Dame out of their basketball tournament. That may make a little more sense, but it's not. It's football right now, season still, and it's basketball too, but we're talking about playoffs, football, college football playoffs. I can't believe people just – maybe they don't know. there's a lot of people that don't know a lot of stuff, that just assume things, that they just hear stuff like, I know that's probably, I mean, we know if you know, you know, people just hear stuff and they just believe it. Notre Dame, same thing I told Alabama last year. You don't like how it turned out this year? Win the games. Didn't beat Miami. You should have beat them. Alabama didn't. They didn't make it. You know why? Because they lost. Because Milroe was trash. He turned the ball over to Oklahoma about 3 or 4 times. Do better. If you want to be rewarded, there's consequences for bad actions. And this is your consequences, Notre Dame, for losing to Miami and them going ahead of you because you lost to them. God dang. So now, next topic. Brian Grubb called plays at Seattle, and Coach Mcdonald out there had some comments, said, quote, unquote, not exact words, that there's a lot of play callers out there, guys, that feel like just calling some fun plays is just the right thing to do sometimes. And just because something works in one game, that means that it could work in any other game. That you're taking your play calling as a whole body of work, that these plays that Grubb calls, those little funky little backdoor reverses and your little trick plays and that little funky stuff, you're not in Washington anymore, Dorothy. You're in the SEC. The speed and the strength is twice much more than you ever faced in the Pac-12. Yes, they had a good quarterback. Yes, Washington had a tailback that rushed for 1,000 yards. But it just seems that he has put Ty in a terrible situation. Mcdonald went on to say that what that does in that style of play calling, that you feel like these work in this game and they'll work in any game, it lacks team building chemistry and coherentness to be together and really have an identity. You can go look it up. Just type in Seahawks coach Mcdonald comments about play calling. Now, he don't say Grubb. He don't call his name out exactly, but you can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what he's saying, okay? And it seems to me that sounds exactly like what the problem is. And I've said this 100 times. We know that Bama not having a run game for 4 years is not. I don't think Grubb's been there for 4 years. Second year. It's been a problem. Bama has been able to – Najee Harris was the last rusher that had a bunch of yards. He rushed for over 1,000. Gibbs didn't even have a whole lot of yards. He was the leading receiver on the team when he was there. It's just not been as important because the style of football they've been able to get away with, because the quarterback situation, Milroe could bail him out of trouble. Go back and look for what Bryce threw for. Was it 21? He threw for like 4,500 yards, but they didn't run for a whole lot of yards. I think it's probably more than they have now, but you know what I'm saying. I've been saying this, and I think other people that watch the game closely and study football daily, and we all interact with other media people, small media people, not, big ESPN. I'm talking about other podcast people like myself. We all have noticed that I think we expected more from Grubb. Maybe we were thinking like on a Sarkisian kind of level, and it kind of felt like this was really going to be an improvement from last year. And by week 6 or 7, about South Carolina, when things started to dwindle away a little bit, Jeff and Ben, it just seems like it's the same offense as last year. As I come on here that Sunday show and said, does this not just seem like the same thing that happened last year with Alabama? We blame some of the offensive linemen. We blame the center. Actually, the year we lost to Michigan in Saban's last game, he left. And was it Pritchett and Booker and them? One of them, he graduated, and the other one transferred at Nebraska, and he's been not heard from since. This is the same offense as last year. The difference is now, because of Grubb's shitty play calling, he could be bailed out of his bad play calling because Nick was the one calling plays last year, but it's still the same kind of offense, basically. Grubb don't have Milroe to bail him out on his bad calls. Either the nice, pretty deep throws down the field to Ryan Williams, or he could take off and run with it because they didn't have a run game. Bama don't even have a guy even close to running for 800 yards. And there's some other teams that having some of those problems because we're seeing teams throw the ball more. It's the style and the play of offense that we're seeing. Empty sets, trips, bunch sets, 4 wide receivers, 2 wide on each side. And we're seeing it even in high school, watching high school football games this past week at Super 7. Teams on it's 1st and 10, they get a penalty. It's 1st and 5, they throw the ball incomplete. 2nd and 5, roll out, throw the ball, overthrow. Like, what? It's 3rd and 5, and he nearly throws a pick on the third play. Talking about a high school team. Jesus Christ, man, what is going on? There's people out there that can run block, and I watched closely when I watched Indiana and Ohio State. I watched the fat boys up front. Indiana, their offensive line was making ways for Brax to beat. They were making a path for the running back to get north and south. Dude, their guard and their center and their tackles off several times. They had a wall. If he went off right tackle, the guard is in, the tackle is up, Phil, he's getting the next level. The center pivots and pinches and hinges. Beautiful alley. I've seen it several times. That's what running the football is supposed to look like. So there's still teams that do it. Indiana, I liked how their offensive line blocked for their run plays. It looked like Alabama from years ago. Now, Bama was missing 2 offensive linemen against Georgia with a one-legged center that shouldn't have been playing. But the guy that was supposed to be playing for him, I think if they're going to let Dewberry or some of them play, he was out. And you got a 17-year-old freshman playing right tackle. Michael, kid from, I think he's from Georgia. Carroll. They did not look ready. And this is not a Bama, Georgia preview. We've done that. It just shows that practice of the week must have been absolutely terrible. And Grubb knew going into the game, we're going to be lucky if we win this, if we can get any kind of plays off. We got so many guys hurt. And he also commended Kirby to say, they do too. And you're going to add another game. And that's another conversation I've had weeks ago about having to play 9 now. So now you're going to play 5 or 6 ranked teams in a regular season. Dude, these Big Ten teams may go the whole season without playing but one ranked team. But the point is, it's going to create an atmosphere to where you have to score. And with Grubb's offense and the way he calls plays and his ineptitude to see He's come down the field. I knew when he come down the field. I was thinking, well, he's just going to come down. It was Eastern Illinois, and he's wanting to. This was an excuse I heard, and I knew it was BS. He wants to be down on the field, Matt, because he wants to be close with his second, third string with Keelan and Mac when they're on and off the field. Okay, that's a good excuse. I'm telling you, he was down the field because he knows there's a problem. He needs to see it on foot. He can't be up in the box, and it's just different. And when he was on the field these next games, I knew there's a big problem. And he's just not that good. It was kind of okay, but when people started figuring out what he was doing, which don't take long, there's great defensive coordinators in the SEC. I mean, there's the top defenses in the country are right here in our conference, some of these defenses. Then you have some guys hurt. And you can't run the ball. Grubb has to see that there's adjustments that he's going to have to make. It seems to me that he's got a square peg, and he's just trying to push that square peg into a triangle hole. I'm going to make my offense work for this team that I have. That is how you lose football games. Thank God that Womack has done an outstanding job this year with the defense to be able to hold teams to lower points so they don't have to score too much. Because you can go back, bro, go look at the schedule. As soon as after Tennessee game, they scored in the 30s. After that, it's a straight drop. It's just straight 30s and 36, 35, 34, and then boom, 21, 26, 24. They are struggling on offense because they got figured out. Some players got hurt. And Grubb has no idea what to do. He's got no idea what to do. He's completely lost as a baby in a topless bar. He's completely confused and has no idea what's going on. It's a huge problem. And last, and we'll move on to we can talk about Ty. This ties in with recruiting since we just come out of recruiting week. Let's just pretend that we're young recruits, okay? Let's just pretend. Let's just play Mr. Rogers here, Mr. DeBoer's neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Tuscaloosa. Start out the year looking good. You have recruits come to all these games. In one game, they had 16 recruits there, and like 6 of them were 5-star players, receivers, linemen, quarterbacks. Now, as the year goes on, and these high school kids watch this stuff. They watch ESPN and all the highlights, and they hear the people talking about the ineptitude of Alabama to run the ball. Top running back in the nation, number 1 in the state. Just watched him win a 4A state championship at Jackson. Broke the 4A record for rushing in a state game with about 300 rushing. Ezekiel Crowell, he signed a few days after to play in Alabama. A couple of his teammates were going to South Carolina, the quarterback, and I think they have a few guys going to North Carolina and South Florida. We're still in Mr. DeBoer's neighborhood here. The little train comes around, dling, dling, and it goes to the neighborhood, and things are looking good. And then about week 7, you're riding along the nice little Charlie Choo train there through Mr. DeBoer's neighborhood, and the offense starts to go down and down and down. As you wind amongst the dark, steeply cool cave as the niner in the depths of the cool lay upon your skin, you're thinking, this is not Alabama. I feel uncomfortable. It's cool and wet and kind of scary. Defenses are all over the quarterback. He has no shot to hardly throw the ball. If you would like him to try to throw it deep, it really don't matter if he can throw it deep because he don't have time to. Because the offensive line coach should be fired. So as a running back, you're thinking, well, they're 113th of when I looked at last time in running the ball. Does Crowell think he can come and solve that problem? It don't matter how good the tailback is. When the line ain't blocking, he ain't got nowhere to go. Now take it that Jam and Daniel Hill are bigger 3-yard backs. I think Crowell is a more shifty, lacy type guy, the one at LSU that I really like. It's got to be a bad look to have all those 5-stars standing on the sideline and your offense looks like a big pile of dog food that somebody took a dump right in the middle of it, and they're trying to sell it to you. Come here to Alabama. We can develop you as a quarterback. We had Penix. He was first round. He's a great quarterback. Come here. We can really get you going. Get you going for what? Get you hurt? And you talking about Ty's going to have to probably come back and play another year because his first year here starting is so trash because of the play calling, the offensive line blocking, and the lack of the run game that he cannot pick up because he's not Milroe. He's not going to run for 700 or 800 yards. Is there an opportunity for a recruit that may want to come in and may have an idea that I would like to play here at Alabama? I ain't heard nobody say this, and maybe I'm the only one, and that's fine. That's why you need to hit the subscribe button and be here. I see things a little different. I have a little bit of different idea. About how it goes. And that's the point. And this camera is just going to take a dump. So is there an idea of about where Bama is and how that they can attract the kind of players that you would want to see at a major university of being the Crimson Tide? Let's think about this. We're still chewing along in the neighborhood. Is there an opportunity for you to play at Alabama? Okay, maybe so. And if not, then is there a chance? This camera's just wonky. Is there an opportunity for, hang on a second. Okay, is there an opportunity for somebody to want to come in and play and look down the field and see this great looking offense and think, man, I think I would really like to be a part of that. I mean, I want to be a top rated quarterback too. I'm just saying, I hadn't heard anybody else say this. It can't be good for recruiting to see such a bad offense on the field, and you're trying to sell somebody on the idea that you're a great coach and that you can come to Alabama and have a great career here as a top quarterback. Because if Ty comes back, if Ty Simpson comes back next year, guys, I probably would bet because Mac will be a redshirt junior next year or redshirt sophomore. Now, somebody told me he is freshman, but they have used his, so he'll be a redshirt junior next year. He's not staying. I think he needs to play now and go ahead and get him ready. Ty's burnt. He's done. And some of it is his fault. He just pitter pats his feet. And when you see a quarterback tapping and tapping, that's terrible. He's scared to death for good reason. For good reason, because they have not blocked well for him most of the time. Because teams can get after him on a pass rush because they don't have to run block because they're not going to run the ball. That's why it worked against Auburn so well, because Auburn Durkin come out and his defense just said, we're just going to line up and play some mid-zone here and cover the flats. He can't throw it deep. They're not going to run the ball, so we're just going to kind of lay back a little bit. We'll get after them a little here, but Jam found a way to dig into Auburn's defense that first half. That's why they had success, because Durkin said, they can't run the ball, and I ain't going to try to stop it. And then they started running the ball, and it's like, okay, we'll figure that out. And what happened? They said, well, Jam, you slowed down. No, Durkin adjusted, and he cut it off. Because Auburn has got a pretty good defense. They're top 10, top 8. If something don't change and they lose to Oklahoma again for 3 times in nearly one physical year, something's got to change. I don't know. Oh, no, I do know. DeBoer don't have the cojones to fire his friend. He won't do it. It's a huge problem. There's just no adjustment. And I think it looks bad that most of us that really watch the game, and not just because it's Alabama, just watching the game and studying it. And like I said earlier, talking to other people that do this for a living. Besides me, I listen to them every day. I chat with people through Twitter that does this kind of stuff too. We expected more. I mean, just fans of football in general, like, well, I want to see what old Grubb does. They did pretty good at Washington. I mean, somebody that's a Georgia fan, I've talked to them. They're like, I thought, and then they come in and it's like, I'm just not really impressed, And then I've talked to Tennessee fans. I've talked to Florida fans, Auburn fans. They're like, I just thought it would be a little better. You really thought he was going to pimp my ride. He was going to lower the car and put some spokes on it, maybe some hydraulics, tint the windows, put the cool airbrush on the trunk, It's the same car that Alabama had last year. It's the same old Cutlass with the same old hubcaps. Now we just don't have the good interior and stuff, and it's been tore up because Milroe could shrink some of that damage from no run game because he could run. I'm just telling you. So lastly, if it don't change, it's going to hurt it's going to hurt Alabama overall in the long run, because at some point recruits are not going to want to come play for a shitty offense. They can see some wins and stuff, but people's figuring it out. And watch some of these other teams. I know they've lost a lot of coaches now, but when LSU Lane figures out, give him a year or two. If Gullis can figure out some kind of offense, and he's a little gimmicky style offense, it's a little, D2 kind of football somewhat. If he can figure out a way to score, 3 or 4 touchdowns and defense stays solid, if he can keep some of those players, which he's already lost some. Florida, if Sumlin, about 2 years. So let me tell you this, Grubb, you're on a short leash. It's got to be figured out next year. You've got to do better, because in 27, when Summerall and Kiffin figure it out and you start playing those guys in a 9-conference game schedule, that crap offense, bro, it's not going to work. You're going to lose. Lane is going to, because Lane is a good play caller. He's a deal head. I don't care for him personally. Lost a lot of respect for. I know he had to take the job at the moment. That's just not me. And I can't say I don't like a guy because he didn't do what I would do, because we're not the same people. He grew up a millionaire. I did not. We're just different values. He's a great play caller. When I watch Ole Miss play, I enjoy their offense. I watch it, I'm like, yes, that's a good play call. 3rd and 2, yep, that's the one I would call. That. What a good job he did. Wow, what a good call. There's very few times I was watching Ole Miss, and I watched them play at least 2, maybe 3 games this year. I like it. Texas offense, yeah, most of the time it's okay, but Sark gets into that fuzzy water sometimes too. But like Grubb, dude, 1st down, run the ball right up the middle. 2nd and 8, run the ball up the middle. 3rd and 7, run the ball up the middle. Jim ain't breaking one when he's piling it up into 1 and 2 hole up there. Come on. We all see this. It's like the coach that lives on the idea of taking the first pitch in baseball. Just take the pitch. You know they're going to throw a strike, but it goes against his pitch count. And in the long run, we can wear him down. We can wear him down in the long run. Why is this thing a piece of crap tonight? It's just GARBAG. This is absolutely crazy. Sometimes it does this. Just the whole point is this then. If it's going to affect recruiting, the guy's got to go, right? If that's what it's going to be, and that's how we're going to. Once recruiting starts to be, affected, then you'll start seeing boosters say something when Bama don't finish, in the top, at least top 10 every year. They want a top 5 recruiting class every year. Well, why aren't we getting those guys there, Coach DeBoer? Who wants to come play for a shitty offense? It's terrible. -3 yards. Come on, man. Not only are you a Division I school, I mean, anybody could run for more than that. Without the sacks, they run for like 30 yards, even if they didn't take off the sack numbers. And it just puts Ty in a bad place. And he's not looking confident at all. That's why he needs to come out and you need to start another guy. Just put Mack in. He can run around a little bit. That could create some diversity to get the defense off balance enough to make them play up a little bit, at least make them think you might run it. That's how it loosens up the defense. When they start playing down on the line because they think you may run it some, that gives you a shot over the back to hit a pass up the field somewhere. And the way we ended the game with those both the Oklahoma game and the Georgia game, the Oklahoma game, Ryan, both ways, he runs this hook. He just runs a straight hook, He runs all the way across the field. It's like this long drag route. He just runs from one hash to the other. And Ty waits and waits and waits. And it's a short route. He don't even get up to the first down line. And they did it the same thing against Georgia. They just run it to the right. The one he threw way over his head out of bounds, that's the same play. Except against Oklahoma, he threw it in the dirt. They weren't even deep enough to make the first down if you would have threw it to him. It's a terrible play call. After you watch thousands of games and you see what works, that ain't working. I think I don't know, man, but DeBoer's got to get in his head. He's like, dude, I done been here a year. These motherfuckers are fast out here in the South. Stop running this Pac-12 jibber-jabber bullshit, gypsy road stuff that worked out there when you're playing against guys from out west out there. They do have some good players, but it's not the same. It's just not. Go look it up. NFL draft classes. What schools have the most kids come out of college to the draft? It's around here. Maybe that play worked in Washington, where Jeremy, like when he was out there, he could run that pattern, run this long crossing route and drag all the way across the field, and he could get open. Well, out here, old dude's right in his hip pocket all the way across the field. When he tried to throw it to Oklahoma, he just reached around, knocked it on the ground. And he's saying, oh, dang, that didn't work. Can you not see, bro? Is them glasses not thick enough? It looks like you could melt the side off a freaking hubcap off a 74 Buick with them things if you line them up in the sunlight. He's got to be able to see. the speed and all that's different. It's a terrible look for the university, man, to have it's just like with Auburn. That offense is terrible. They knew they had to fire Freeze. He couldn't even score on Kentucky. So at least Cohen, tip your hat to you, buddy, because you had the sack to lay it on the table and said he's got to go. He's killing our college. These offensive players we got standing on the sideline watching the game. They're like this. Hey Jerome, you want to come up here to Harvard and play for this guy? And they're like, I don't know, man. They're terrible. I want to go get developed and go to the league. This looks like crap. These quarterbacks, Cedric Morgan, JT Tamala, two of the top picks in this class, number one wide receiver, top quarterback, they're watching the game like, is the play calling are we going to get the ball? Ryan ain't even got, what's going on? He's supposed to be their guy. And quarterback JT's like, I want to get developed and, maybe go to the league or something. Is this Alabama offense, Grubb and the board connection, bringing it from the West Coast? We're going to run it up. They play for a national championship. Well, but when they had to match up some speed, it didn't go well. I don't want to be that guy that keeps saying every weekend, fire the board, fire that son of a gun. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not. But it's when it starts affecting recruits, and it hadn't right now. But there's got to be, if I'm at Auburn, Florida, LSU, Georgia, there's no way, if I'm recruiting a kid I know that's been talked to him, others, a quarterback, a receiver, or tailback, there's no way I can't put him down there and we're going to talk mom and dad and we're going to sit in the living room. I'm going to put this YouTube video on and I'm going to show them these highlights, these Bama games, and go, that offense, you're a good quarterback. Boy, I've been watching you play in high school for 2 years. We've been recruiting you just like they are. This is the offense you want to go play for? Or you're a running back? They had -3 yards. It's got worse week after week after week after week. His QBR is terrible. With the way Ty's played, he couldn't start on any other SEC team right now. None. Not one SEC team's taking him to start. If you take him right now, take him out of Alabama and play him in Arkansas. Yeah, you better go watch that kid at Arkansas, Taylor. That kid, pro. Go watch Mississippi State quarterback. Those guys can run around and make plays with their feet, and boy, they put zip on the ball. Are they work in progress? Sure. I'm telling you, man, Ty Simpson could not start a game this Saturday on any SEC team if they were all playing. He ain't better than none of them. Tell me, please hit the comments over here. He's not. He ain't better than no quarterback right now. So you going to pull Aguilar from Tennessee and put in Ty? What game are you watching? Gunner? Well, he's on a roll right now, bro. Run the ball enough, keeps the offense playing well. He keeps his defense off the field. Why do you think Bama lost to Georgia? Another reason, man. God darn, the freaking defense is wore out. You go 3 and out, punt, pick, punt. That's the first quarter. No wonder they give up 2 touchdowns. Georgia started the ball in their own territory about every time. They didn't have to drive. None. When did they ever have to drive 95 yards to go score? They didn't. Because the offense is anemic. They can't move the ball. They couldn't even move it 10 yards. They punted. He threw a pick. They punted. And these kids watching these games on the sideline like this, I'm so-and-so, bro. I'm good. You don't know me. Watch out, ho. Let's go. What's going on, cuz? Oh, tell me. I'm good. And at the end of the game, and then you go visit to, I don't know, maybe you go out and visit A&M or somewhere. Go visit Tennessee. Them at the top offense in the SEC, that's them. And you go up there and watch a game, and you're a quarterback. Boom. Oh, wow, touchdown. Wow, they moved the ball down the field. Man, these quarterback coaches, I like the play calling here at Tennessee. Top offense in the SEC, best running average in the SEC. I think Tennessee's, by numbers and stats, they're probably the best team in the SEC. You're an offensive player. That's you want to go shine. You want to go make money to create your own image and likeness to make some extra money through the NIL Go Fund and the collective. This crap Alabama's putting on the field is humiliating. It's miserable. It's a joke. It's terrible. Recruits are, it's not pretty. You can sell the brand and the scripted A that they have on the neck on the jersey. And that's holding some value for a little while. But you keep up with this offense, 103rd and rushing in the country. Who's going to come play? Because the other coaches from other schools are going to say, surely you don't. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. Yeah, they played for the conference championship because their defense is hanging on. If you're a defensive player, it looks pretty attractive. Go over there. It looks like the defensive coach is getting after it. He's working. There's no consequences for bad actions. As soon as that crap started with Ty, it's not personal, man. Just go to him and say, hey, this week at the game, we're going to let Mac take the snaps with the first team. Okay? You can take some too. But he's going to lead us through the week, and we're going to start him against LSU. Is probably where I'd start him to see what happened. Just see what happened. If it goes south, put Ty in. No harm, no foul. If he takes it that personal, he ain't a good teammate. You don't need him. Not a good teammate anyway. If he's it's bull crap. When they pulled Milroe in that South Florida, they put in old Ching Chong up there. That went up there, and he's a lacrosse player at Notre Dame. Milroe was high-fiving him. He was celebrating. Saban pulled his tail, man. The game where Saban got rained on down there in South Florida, he took his tail out. He put in these other dudes because everybody's like, Milroe's got to go. And when Milroe came out and we seen what they had, everybody's like, oh, okay, Nick didn't know what he was doing. Milroe is the best option. He's just not real good at throwing mediocre mid-range balls. He's going to throw picks. And that's what it cost him the game last year against Oklahoma. Bama's coaching staff has been picked through for the past 10 years. They take the guy that changes the freaking heads on the sprinklers out there. Hey, you change the sprinkler heads at Tuscaloosa? Come on down. We got a job for you. We want you to call offense. They can't keep up. They've already lost their wide receiver coach, took the Oregon State job. They're losing coaches right now. DeBoer's been there. He ain't been there 2 years yet. Because nobody will say no. Well, that's good for him. He needs to go out and create his own brand and be a head coach. And DeBoer's thinking, God dang, man, I'm trying to go to the playoffs here, and I lose my wide receiver coach and 2 other guys to go with him. You know he don't like it. You can't keep a staff together because if they got Alabama somewhere along the way, the guy mops the freaking toilets and brushes doo-doo out of the toilet. I bet some of them guys took a dump here. He probably got close to him. Well, let's hire him. We'll hire him up here at North Kennesaw State Collegiate Intercontinental Community College and see if we can get a football team. But, you know, it's hurting the school. It's going to hurt the brand. And they keep putting this bad offense out there, and Grubb don't wake up and do something different. I don't see him doing nothing different. I think they can beat Oklahoma because they'll be healthy, and they doubled Oklahoma in offense. I think they have a great shot at beating them. Just don't turn the ball over. Those are things you can control pretty easy. They could have the same kind of game plan and beat them. Because Bama's defense held Oklahoma to like 200 yards of offense for the whole game. I think he threw for 130. They rushed for 60. Yeah, they can win that game. Are you kidding me? Anybody that would pick against it's just being a hater and being foolish and just don't want to pick it. Yeah, it's not personal. It's just business. If you can't, bro, I mean, I know they're buddies, man. They're buddies, and he don't want to fire him, man. Yeah, we got the quarterback. Yeah, Keelan Russell's the quarterback, 5-star QB from Duncanville, and but the receiver went to USC. Yeah, I messaged him. I did. I sent him a text about that, and gave him the name of the guy, and they're getting the contact and stuff. But yeah, he could come out there and get a. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. High school football, Alabama, it will be next. I think next Thursday or Friday. We'll find out where everybody's going to reclassify to. I don't know. I hadn't heard that, man. It could be possible. Could be possible. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for coming by and hanging out with me and breaking down this AD situation at Notre Dame. And, oh, yeah, no problem. I appreciate you for trying to help the young man out. He's a good kid. The AD at Notre Dame complaining about trying to protect his brand, like them playing the Notre Dame Miami game is knocking them out of it. No, just if you'd have won the game, it wouldn't have mattered. And don't be mad at Bama. They were ranked above you anyway. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at freaking James Madison. Why we got these teams in there? That's not the best 12. Stop saying that. This committee, we're putting the best 12 teams in there on the committee tonight, Chuck. Come on in here and let's talk about it. Breaking news here. Hi, I'm Chuck Spagagel, and we're going to break down the college football bracket. The best 12 teams in college football today. Let's start down here at 12. James Madison. And then at 11, we're going to talk about Tulane. Shut up. You're stupid. Your mama dresses you funny. They're not. That's not two of the best 12 teams. Put Notre Dame in there. Take James Madison out. Send Notre Dame to Oregon. Let Vanderbilt play Georgia again. Ole Miss. Put Vandy in. Put Notre Dame in. But, Matt, Chuck Spagagel says that BYU also played for their championship and he lost the game. That Alabama lost their conference game, by gosh. Don, tell them what's happened. Well, see here, Jerry, the college football bracket, BYU losing their conference games the same as Alabama. Why is BYU not in? Because they lost to Texas Tech twice, Chuck. Shut up. You need to take some shut up juice too. Take the big shut up pill. Alabama didn't lose to Georgia twice. If they would have, they wouldn't be in. Dummy. So now we got the picture figured out about also the AD and what a Crutchfield he is and a dip wagon. I guess because they would like their team that profits them money, their football team, because Notre Dame don't profit the ACC money. Miami does. So they're going to take up for their team. Right? Yeah. And now we see where Grubb's play calling is not good. How does that affect recruiting from here on out? Because it's affecting Ty and his playability. It's a huge, huge problem. Tulane and James Madison deserve to be in the college football playoffs this year because they won the respective championship games. It's a reward. They suck. They're going to get beat by 40. I don't want to watch it. It's terrible football. What you said is correct. By the rules of the committee and the bracket, that is right. That don't mean I like it. I don't want to see James Madison. And even that, we're going to watch Tulane play. Ole Miss, they were up 3 touchdowns before half. They were playing with them and won by 5 Oh, God, it's terrible. I don't want to see that. Put in Notre Dame and put in Vandy. I like it. Put them in it. All right, guys. Appreciate all of you so very much. And we may break down the actual bracket and look at some games. I don't think you like it, Jeff. You don't want to. Jeff, do you really want to watch James Madison in Oregon? No, you don't. You don't really want to. You really don't want to watch that game. I know you don't. You like good football games. You're a fan of Ohio State. You like seeing good football games. It's just that easy. So come back maybe Thursday. I'll see what I got going on then. I don't know. And we'll pull the bracket up and we'll look at some after Oregon beats them and see how Texas Tech. Yeah, right. Duke, no, not Duke. Put in Notre Dame in place of them. Put in Vanderbilt in place of Tulane. Heck, put in BYU if that makes people happy in place of Tulane. Let them go play their own conference championship. This is not. Here's the thing. This is what the lie part, Jeff. They're saying this is the 12 best teams. That's not true. Because those other two teams, they will not ever win a national championship going through that bracket. Never, ever, never. It'll never happen. It's never going to happen. Yeah, then we're going to get a bunch of 3 and 4 loss teams, and then number 17 is going to gripe and whine about that. So now we're going to take 14 teams and still let in these two hippie wagon freaks. Tulane's and James Madison's in North Texas, and we're going to let them see if they can make a Cinderella story and the shoe fits their foot at midnight. They can ride away in the pumpkin in the Never Never Land. Oh, God almighty. Yeah, that's why I just need to go back to 4. Let's just have the top 4 teams. 1 plays 3, 2 plays 4. The winners play each other. Bam, we're done. But on number 5, I didn't make – shut up then. Go win games. Go schedule some better teams where you have a better schedule. And like Notre Dame next year, they're going to have nobody. They're going to walk to the playoffs, and their first real game is going to be the first-round playoff, and they're going to get blowed by because their team ain't seen any speed on the field that year. That's what's happening to Notre Dame next year. I don't know. I got a bunch of crap going on right now, moving around and that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I will I'll definitely let people know. Definitely. Yeah, I didn't have really a big problem with the BCS. Not really. I didn't mind going to 4. I thought that gives some teams that may have slipped a game during the year. You know, Bama come out and slipped on Florida State first game. Well, you know, they lose 2 games in the year. Yeah, okay, give them a shot to get in there because, you know, Ohio State, I mean, they lose their conference title game. Hey, back in the day, they're out. Ohio State don't get a shot right now. Right now, probably the best 2 looking teams, they're probably going to play Indiana and Georgia. That'd be 1-2. Hey, welcome to the BCS. Indiana and Georgia go play for national championship. That's what would happen right now. I've heard mumblings about that. I don't see him leaving. His son, of course, you know, he's the quarterback down there at St. Michael, and they got a good football team. He's just going to up and leave that, and they're just starting to put it together right now. Now, if he's a senior and he's fixing to graduate, maybe, I don't know, but he does have like 10 or 12 other kids that maybe want to play football. I don't know. Why do you want to go back? Why would you want to go back, you know, to the NFL when you just got it made, man? He's got a great job. What up, TriStar, you old rascal? Funny thing is how I'm the one that's been saying for years that the giant conferences are subject if playoffs would fail. Well, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, we talked about it 2 years ago when we used to get on Twitter and talk all the time. You're right. Here's TriStar P. Where somebody's going to gripe. If you take a freaking 25 team playoff, 26, somebody like, but I deserve to be in. Well, you lost 5 games. Well, but that darn it, we should have got in. We're this, it's just human nature. You're gonna jock for position. Yeah, they're terrible. Oof. And Notre Dame want to join the ACC? Good Lord, man. Why? So the coach did sign him to a practice squad? Phillip Rivers? Are you sure? You ain't pulling my leg, are you? Yeah, it's going to be right here on the Big 12, ACC, Chinsey aiming to UCLA. 4 LSU coaches rejoin the Rebels. Yeah, what y'all think about that? Or Charlie Weiss Jr. going back? I think it's great. James Madison, Oregon lines for each game. Yeah, I know they're James Madison, Oregon's favored by 3 touchdowns. Let's see here. Yes, Phillip Rivers, the former NFL quarterback, has come out of retirement, age 44, to sign with the NFL's coach practice squad. Joining the team he last played for in 2020 amid a major quarterback injury crisis. The move makes him the oldest active player in the NFL, providing the emergency option the Colts deal with season-ending injuries to star Daniel back at right, Leonard, and with Anthony Richardson also on the sidelines. Yeah, we know their quarterbacks, like, they got nobody. He turned 44 this month. Previously played for the Colts in 2020, 1-year deal, $25 million deal, leading the team to the playoffs. Well, Phil, God bless you, bro, and good luck to you on that, and I hope it all works out for you. He won't be coaching his son anymore, I guess, so that kind of sucks. Simple solution, have an 8-team playoff with only conference champions. Yeah, that's what we was talking about yesterday. True. Best record in all the playoff games at home stadiums. Yeah, I love it. I mean, something different. I'm okay with what they're doing now, except the James Madison Tulane. Stop putting them. No, they're not going to win it. This is not the best 12 teams. It's not the best 12 teams. Stop saying there's media people, not y'all, the ESPN. 12-team playoff. Take it over, Steve. Tell them about it. Yes, Stan Ripple here. We're going to talk about the 12 best teams in college football right now. Tulane and James Madison will be taking on here in the first round playoff. Shut up, bro. They're crashed. They're not going to beat none of them teams. Stop it. Stop selling that snake oil. I've seen too much football, and I ain't got time for it. Well, yeah, money does, because – all these, that's why bowl games don't mean so much, because there's too many. Man, I remember, you had 14 bowl games, and they kind of meant something, and it had some relevance to it. But now it's just a TV slot. It's selling ads. That's all it's doing. You're selling ads on the TV. And if you can have a game on to put ads in front of, you can make money. And ESPN, ABC want to make money. Now he can't be their coach and be up there playing football. I mean, they're done right now because they're out of the playoffs. Jackson put them out. Yeah. I remember we just had a dozen bowl games. No, they don't. TriStar, they don't. Nope. They don't have to do nothing. Then go create your own championship. Go get your own sandbox, because they'll never win it. It's not exclusion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't like it, and you don't have to do nothing. NCAA is a joke. They get sued all the time. Just don't put them in. Who are they going to sue? The college football committee? I mean, when a team, gets their championship forfeit or something, like who's going to go get the trophy? NCAA don't buy the trophy. None of this stuff works like, nobody wants to see Tulane and James Madison. Just don't put them in it. Well, we'll sue and drop a lawsuit. Well, good. Go drop a lawsuit and we'll see you next year. Because the NCAA gets sued all the time. They're crap. The NCAA has no control over nothing. They don't know. They don't even know what's going on. I don't even know why they even have an office. Ain't their office up there in Nashville somewhere, TriStar? It's up there somewhere. I mean, they don't even know what's going on. So it's like the AD at Notre Dame griping, bro. Nobody wants to hear him gripe. They're protecting their brand of Miami. Because Miami football team going to the playoffs gets the ACC money. Notre Dame going to the ACC. They don't play football in the ACC. Them going to the playoffs makes no money for the ACC. When Notre Dame football goes to the playoffs, ACC gets no money. Yeah, they're just going to have to do something. Just put him in there and, I don't know, just hand it off and let him run around and hope. I don't know, man. He ain't played in a while. How good is he? I mean, I'm sure he still throws the ball around like with his kid or whatever, but like real like game time throwing, I mean, I like Phillip Rivers. I always thought he was a good quarterback. I don't know. Heck, you already have as much luck bring his son up there and play or something. Let's go grab a little snack here and get ready to go to work tomorrow. Got a long day. Thank y'all for coming by, TriStar. Good to see you, man. Come back on here more. It's kind of slowing down. We won't be on quite as much. Try to come on Thursday night, but Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 6 Central. And we'll try to go, I may look at the bracket and talk about Texas Tech and their defense and all that kind of stuff. All right, Jeff, y'all have a good one. God bless everybody. Make sure you hit the thumbs up before y'all go out. Boom, thumbs up. It's that easy. Just hit it.